Hello, and a big welcome to all of you out there who are seeing this podcast or listen to it. Today we have a guest all over from USA. It's Rhea Viggiano. Is that right?
Yes. Yes, that's correct.
Yeah, it's difficult with all these names. Sometimes you say it right and sometimes not. But you are a student on a big facility. I have been talking with Heidi before, who is on this facility. So please tell us who you are and what you are doing there.
So I am the barn manager and assistant trainer for Oconee Therapeutic Riding. We're in Georgia in the US, little tiny town outside of Athens. If anybody knows where Athens, Georgia is, we're kind of in the boonies, so to speak, out in the country. And being a therapeutic riding facility, it's nice to have it in like a nice, quiet, therapeutic type setting. And that's where we are. It's absolutely perfect. I came out with Heidi. Ooh, it was a year in this past May. We would have been in our facility for a year. So I guess we're going on just roughly a year and a half now here. And it's been an adventure. It's been great. I'm finishing up my PATH certification. I did everything under her, and she's kind of like my mentor. It's been wonderful.
Yeah. And later on, we will hear from a student from you and Heidi. So tell us, what are you doing? Uh, what are the main thing you are doing?
We like to call it healing with horses. I started riding when I was 4. I did pony club. We lived in France. I didn't speak French. My trainer didn't speak English, so I fell off of a lot of ponies as a kid. And we moved back to the States, and my parents really wanted me to be more musically inclined, so they pushed me towards music lessons. I hated it. I begged to ride for years and years, and ended up going through a bout of depression, and started riding again consistently when I was, I guess, about 11 or 12. And I've been doing it ever since. And they got me back into horses because of my depression, the emotional things that I was going through, self-harm, stuff like that.
Wow.
And so horses have changed my life in a lot of ways. When I was in high school, I actually attempted to take my own life. And the last place that I was at was the barn. Like, I said goodbye to my lease horse, and that was it. And, I came back to horses. They've saved me time and time and again. And I got into this because I wanted to give that back to other people. So we serve just about anybody. We have some kids that ride because they have anxiety, depression, like myself, or they have dyslexia. And then we have some nonverbal students and, some students with Down syndrome. We have people that, like the one you're going to hear from in just a little bit, Harley, who's paralyzed from the waist down. We have tons of differently abled students. But I love each and every one of them, but I feel like I connect best with the mental health students just because
Of
that's my
course.
background. That's why
Of
I'm
course.
here.
Yes.
Um,
You know
but it's
exactly how they are thinking and feeling and all this.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
and just being able to share the healing power that horses possess with them. It's the most beautiful thing I've ever experienced in my
Mm.
life. Being able to watch it happen with others, it's just I'm tearing up thinking about it. It's amazing.
Yeah,
Um,
animals is fantastic with the people who had
mhm.
something going on. And I know that the horses are really therapeutic,
Mhm.
really, really good at that.
They are. And Heidi, she just got her certification in horse guided empowerment, where like you sit with the horses and you have like almost like a talk therapy session with them, and watching them, because I've sat in on a couple of students have asked me to sit in with them, or I've just been in to take notes, or I recorded for her certification. And watching the horses just like come up and surround a student that's having a lot of emotional problems, like they make a protective circle, just like in the wild, they make a protective circle around them if they're having those deep
Wow.
like, thoughts of suicide, stuff like that. And just seeing how they interact and which ones the students are drawn to, and just in the moment and working through those emotional difficulties, whatever they may be. It's absolutely incredible. But yeah.
Yeah. Hello, Heidi.
Popping in to say hello.
Yeah, it's good.
But
Great.
yes,
Great to see her.
yes.
Yeah, and how you must have a lot of things to do it with. I was talking with Harley about you have a ramp so she can get on the horse. Do you
Yes.
have other things you use?
So we have mounting blocks. We have some of our littles and some of our more typical kids or more physically typical students will use a mounting block. And then we do have a number of physically handicapped students that use the mounting ramp, or they're a little bit more unsteady on their feet. We've got a couple of students in their 70s that ride, I do 4 to 70, I think 74, 72
Yeah,
is our oldest right now. Um, that will use the ramp. But some of the kids think the ramp is fun, so they mount at the ramp. But yes, and we're working on potentially getting a lift for some of our students, like a
yeah,
mechanical lift, so they can be lifted onto the horse. Because there are a couple of our adults that Heidi and myself have to physically pick up and put on the horse, and
yeah,
I have sciatica. It's not the best on my back, and Heidi's, tiny. She weighs 100 pounds soaking wet. So a lift would make life a lot easier. But the whole thing is it's also really interactive. We have wacky stuff in our arena, like a basketball hoop. We've got a dart board. We have a gigantic Connect Four game, all sorts of things that are just super cool for the kids to do and play with and work on. Like if they have any sort of like fine motor things that they're working on, they can, things like that. So, and then hand-eye coordination. It's really unique type of horseback riding.
yeah. And I think it's fantastic with the horses, as you said, many times they are adapting. They are careful when they are carrying people like that, and
Oh, for sure.
yeah,
Yes, and they can certainly sense. I mean, we have two off the track thoroughbreds. One's mine, one's Heidi's. And the difference between putting differently physically abled or a mentally handicapped person on our thoroughbred versus like one of us or a typical student trying to ride them, it's night and day. It's just like, because my guy, like you get on him, you know how to ride. He's like, oh, it's game on. But we have one student that rides him every single week, and she just likes to sit on him and play basketball. And you think about an off the track thoroughbred, he just sits there and lets her shoot basketballs off of him. It's just like they're saints, and they absolutely know. They're so intuitive, and you put someone on their back, they're like, oh, we got this. It's incredible. I mean, all of them are really incredible, but to watch an ex racehorse, it just do the things that they do, it's just mind
really,
blowing.
really,
Yeah, yeah. And Heidi's does the most, like, I think some of the hardest cases. And he's an angel. We have a visually impaired student who rides him every week, and she adores him, and he's perfect with her. So it's just so cool to see.
yeah, that is very cool.
Mhm.
So you have a lot of students. Do you have only handicapped or is it a mix?
We definitely have a mix. We have a I think we are at one student right now that can walk, trot, canter, and jump, but they're in school, so it's a little harder for them to figure out their schedule. But we have some that are walk, trot. We have a 10-year-old who rides our spicy little pony and like does games, and she'll jump in and walk, trot, canter on him, and but just it's all over the spectrum. I mean, every different kind of rider that I think you can imagine. And we've got, I think, about 50 students right now that
Okay.
come consistently. Yes. And we're
Yeah.
starting our homeschool program. So we're going to have a 1 week session for homeschool kids to come out and learn about horses and then have a horseback riding lesson. Um,
Wow.
so that'll be good. That starts next week. We're very excited about that. Yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine. That's
Hmm.
great. I
Yeah.
know many students doesn't have the ability to go to a riding school and maybe not, maybe a little scared and so on. So that is fantastic.
Yes, it's something else that we're really excited to start offering. Yeah.
Which grade are they in?
We're offering kindergarten through 12th grade right now.
Okay.
Just and any level of riding experience, none to, we can work with it. We've got assistants that are coming in that are going to help teach and lead some of the unmounted stuff, the classroom type stuff. So yeah,
Yeah.
it'll be about an hour and a half every week. We're very excited to start it.
Yeah. That's great. That's great. Then you will get more customers, I suppose.
Yes, and it'll be nice to have something that's consistently offered every semester as well. So we'll have like a fall session and then a spring session for the
Mhm.
homeschool kids. So that'll be good. And they're getting outside. That's a lot of our parents mention like the therapeutic qualities of just being outside on the farm around the horses.
Mm.
Like, and for some of them, like this is their one time a week that the family gets out and, spends time in fresh air and is in this kind of setting. So our parents like to come out and just, see their kids ride or just like sit in a hammock and sit with the horses. So they also are getting those therapeutic qualities that we love to see.
Yeah. And do you
It's really nice.
forbidden mobile phone when they are there?
No, we don't. And a lot of our parents like to take videos of their kids
Mm.
riding and and
Yeah.
they take selfies with the horses. We've had some video selfies that the parents or our volunteers have even taken. Like the kids can't ride with their phones when they're on the horse. Like they have to put them down, but the
Yes.
parents can. Yes, the parents can take video or just
Yeah.
relax and chill and not have to worry about anything for an hour.
Mm.
So,
That's right.
that's good.
That's right.
That's very good.
So you only have kids, none, no, yeah, you were talking about you have 74 years old, so yeah, it's
Yes,
adult as well.
all age ranges. They
Yeah.
can start therapeutic riding when they're 4.
Hmm.
And so I mean, we've got littles, like tiny little kids, so starting at 4. We've got some that are a little bit older. We've got like, 6 and 8. We've got some 10. We've got some preteens and teenagers, and then we've got a couple students in their 20s. I think only maybe one or two in their 30s, and then it jumps up into 70,
Yeah.
which is also really cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, all ages. Yep. The only requirement is they're 4 years old to start, and that's it.
That's great. And
Mhm.
and you have this with the schools that they're coming out. Is that a special school or it's normal students, not handicapped or
So we've got our homeschoolers who are like taught by a parent or they're called co-ops here in the States. I don't know
okay?
if they're the same internationally, but basically with the co-ops, you either meet in a group setting and learn an activity or learn a class, or they have like co-op PE classes, which I think is what we're going to fall under is more of like a PE, a physical education class.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and they usually meet once or twice a week. It just depends on where it's offered. And I guess I had never really thought about it. Homeschooling being offered um, in the States might be different than it is elsewhere in the world. That never occurred to me. But then we
Yeah.
do we do also have groups that come in on like a field trip to come see the farm.
Yeah.
And we had one come in, everybody, they got to go on a trail ride. We had like groups, it was like a rotating group. They go on a trail ride, and then everybody painted the horses with washable paint and then gave them
Mm-hmm.
baths and learned some horse care and stuff like that. So we do offer stuff like that on occasion as well. It's just not as like scheduled. Like the homeschool thing is going to be a consistent
Yeah.
program. This is, ad hoc
Yeah.
almost. But yeah. Yep.
Wow. No, I don't know that much about homeschool. In Scandinavia, I never met one who had homeschool. So yeah.
Okay. Okay. It's usually like if they're taught by like a church group or a parent.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's because, we have like public school and private school. This is also just like homeschool. I guess it's just second
Yeah.
nature for me to think about, oh, they're homeschooled. Like,
Yeah.
and it's just fairly common here in the States.
But that is so
Yes.
fun to hear about other things as well in these podcasts. That is
Hmm.
certainly what is this? So yeah, nice,
Yeah.
nice. So yeah, that is fantastic. Do you think that you will do this for the rest of your life, or how is your
That's the goal.
yeah, okay, yeah,
Um, I have kind of a strange background. Obviously, I've ridden and I competed collegiately with my college as well. Um, but I was told growing up that it was impractical to want a career in horses. You're going to make no
hmm.
money. It's not reliable. It's
uh,
stressful.
uh,
Yeah. And
yeah,
we all know, all of
yeah,
us horse people know, like you make peanuts, but it's worth it.
mm, yeah,
So again, I have a weird story. I got married very, very young, and I actually found Heidi as I was going through my initial separation from my ex-husband.
hmm.
Um, and I don't know if she told you about how she and I are connected. It's really
No,
unique. Her
no,
first
nothing.
her first trainer in Georgia, where we live, her name was Mia. When So she rode with Mia for a very, very long time, and then, went off as she, grew up and did her own thing. But Mia's farm, Beaver Spring, is where I had my lease horse when I was in middle school and high school. And I showed up to Butterfly Dreams, where Heidi and I met. That was the therapeutic riding facility that she was working at the time. I showed up wearing Mia's vest because Mia had passed away, and I inherited some of her clothes. So I showed up when I met Heidi, I was wearing Mia's vest. And so it was this weird connection that she and I had. And it was almost as though like the universe was saying, it's okay to make this transition from being married to this. It was a horrible experience, this, narcissist, to stepping into the career that I had always wanted, that I'd been told wasn't a possibility,
Wow,
like with this person that I had this like base connection with. And she and I, of course, hit it off right away. And we finish each
yeah,
other's sentences, and we talk on the phone all the time, and we see each other every day. We just came back from a horse show together. We were away for the weekend at a horse show. And so it's just everything as it fell into place just kind of solidified that this was the choice that I needed to make. This was the path that I needed to be on. So she and I are now partners for life. Like this is just, we're going to do this together. That's the goal. So yeah, I'm planning on, this is where I am. And
yeah.
one of my,
Why
yeah,
why
one,
should you be anywhere else if this is your call?
exactly. And
Yeah.
one of my friends actually came to our horse show, and none of my friends had seen me ride horses. Like when I was with my ex-husband, we had a very unique set of friends, and like they never saw this side of me. And he mentioned at the end as he was getting ready to leave, he was like, it was so good to see you in your element in this place. You're so happy, because he watched me go through my divorce. And he's like, it's just so good to see you so happy and thriving, and it looks like you're in the right place.
Yeah.
So again, it's just the universe saying this is where I'm supposed to be, and it's amazing. Like I wake up every day, I'm like, yep, I pinch myself. This is still
Oh,
real. So yeah, yeah,
oh, that is
I
great.
definitely plan to continue.
That is great. And I can imagine that the kids are also happy that you are there.
Mhm.
Uh, Certainly, then you understand their mindset and all the things they're going through. So yeah, fantastic.
Yeah, it's been an incredible journey, and I love working with. We get to meet the most incredible people doing what we do, and help
Mm.
the people that need help from horses the most. Just seeing the difference in people emotionally, developmentally, even. It's amazing. I can't say enough good about it.
Great. And I think that maybe somebody out there are listening a little bit extra because, as you said, we always hear that you can't make money on horses. You can't have that as a job. But I found one, you have found one, so you can if you really wish to do it.
You can. It's not easy. I mean, it's a 7 day a week, 24 hour a day
Mm,
job, but I mean, if you have it and you love it, then there's no reason not to. I
no,
mean, and it's been my dream since I was, tiny, tiny. So making it a reality has been incredible.
fantastic. Thank you so much for joining me here and us, all of you out there. And I'm so happy to hear about it. I really love to hear what you're doing for the kids and Heidi as well. So thank you so much for being
Thank
here.
you. Thank you for having me. It was awesome.
Thank you. Hello, and a big welcome to all of you out there who are listening and seeing this podcast. Today we have a very special guest. It's Harley Smith. Welcome to you, Harley.
Thank you very much.
It's so nice to meet you. Uh, my friend Heidi has a big riding school, and she told me that you were a student there.
Yes, ma'am.
So please tell us about what are you doing on the riding school? How is your lessons going and all this?
I go see Heidi once a week for an hour, and during that hour, I prepare the horse by brushing, and then we go from there to picking feet. Then we put on the bareback pad and the surcingle. Um, and then from there, I go to a ramp. So I'm paralyzed waist down from a car accident back in 2016.
Wow.
Um, I've been riding for 7 years out of the 8 that I've been paralyzed, and only 4 of those have been with Heidi. Um, but at the riding barn, we have a ramp that I go up to the top of, and from there, I'm able to transfer from the wheelchair to the horse. Um, and over the years, I've gained an a great amount, I would say, of core strength and balance from riding. Um, I also think that riding teaches a lot of things you can use in everyday life, patience being one of them. So we go once a week to see Heidi. We prepare the horse, we ride the horse. Once we've wrapped up riding for an hour, uh, we take everything off the horse, and usually on the hot days, we spray the horses down before that we return them back into their stalls or the pasture.
Wow, it's a lot of things. How do you do that? Are you in a wheelchair or um
Yes, I am in a wheelchair, but all my upper extremities, my two arms work. So I ride just off of balance and using the surcingle. At this point in riding, I can hold the reins by myself uh, in order to lead the horse. But Heidi is always in front of me. And then we have volunteers that work at the horse farm that usually stand beside.
yeah. You were talking about taking up the feeds and all that. Can you do that from a wheelchair or you have help with that as well?
Usually the one of the volunteers or Heidi will help lift the leg, and I just pick.
Okay, yeah, that's great. And I can imagine if you are paralyzed in your leg, it can be very, very difficult to find the balance on the horse. Am I right there?
It was definitely a challenge. Over the years, I've gotten really good at it. I'm almost, I would say, pretty independent when it comes to riding now.
Wow. Are you riding in trotter also, or it's only walking?
We've trotted, I would say maybe 8 to 10 times before. It's been some time since we've done so. I actually got pregnant and had a little boy who's
Oh,
now
wow.
he's 2 now, and I haven't trotted since I've had him. But
Okay.
beforehand, we have actually done some trotting and we've done some canering. Canering, I think I said that properly.
Yeah,
Canering.
yeah, cantering, yeah. Wow. So it has done something for you and your body. Did you ride before also, or is it all new to you?
I had rode maybe a handful of times before, but nowhere near as much as what I ride now.
Yeah. But you had the interest in horses before as well, or
The biggest interest in animals altogether. I wanted to go to a vet school, was always my dream.
yeah, that's great. That's great. So you can tell all people out there that it's good for your body to ride.
It's definitely good for your body. I think a lot of your body stems from your brain as well. And being on the farm and around the horses just brings you some kind of mental peace that I've never gotten anywhere else.
That's right. Yeah, horses are really a fantastic animal, especially when you need them in that kind of way.
They've definitely helped me along my journey.
Yeah. So you are not riding so wild anymore when you have a kid.
Yes,
It's
yes, ma'am, that's correct.
it's just like us as well. Something happened to you when you get a kid. You don't want to fall off.
It changed everything.
Yes, it does. But you're still riding anyway.
I still ride and I do so successfully. I was even able to transfer onto a horse this past Monday completely by myself. I was actually really proud of that one.
Yes, and the horse will become your legs. It must be a fantastic feeling that you can move again, you can go some places.
Yes, definitely one of the greatest feelings to know that you can get somewhere without sitting in a chair. And I'd say it helps with um, a stretch. It gives that stretch that you're not going to get sitting in a chair.
Yeah, I can imagine. I uh, I suppose they have special horses for this.
Heidi's horses are very, very well trained. Most of them, I believe, were trained by Heidi. And Heidi is an extremely talented horse instructor. The way she is with every horse I've ever seen her with is amazing.
Mm, yeah, that's fantastic. Is it ponies or it's bigger horses? What are you
We have
riding?
we have I believe one pony at the farm, but all the rest of them are normal horses. She has different breeds. Um, I know Betty is usually who I ride, and she's a big black draft horse, and she is beautiful and she is huge.
Wow. Yeah. So you have a ramp for your wheelchair. How do you get on the horse? Can you do that yourself, or you have to be carried?
But I can do it mainly by myself. This Monday was the first time I was actually able to do the entire transfer alone. But usually I have Heidi on the other side, and I just reach over and I'm able to put my leg over and transfer over by myself onto the horse.
Wow. So you will have something to climb on, so to speak.
No,
No?
no, no, just the third single that's on the horse is usually where I reach one hand and then I reach for Heidi's shoulder and I transfer straight over.
Wow. You must have a lot of strength in your arms.
Yes, ma'am. I've lived fully independently for about 7.5 of the 8 years I've been sitting.
Wow. That's great. That's great. So I suppose you will continue riding.
Yes, I hope to continue for many, many years. The peace and the hope that it brings. Even when I thought, my world was over after becoming paralyzed, it gave me that hope that I could still live happy and fulfill all my dreams, even sitting in the chair.
That is must be a great moment to get to that point, because I can imagine that you feel kind of hopeless when something like that has happened to you.
Definitely hopeless. And to show my son that I love animals and what it's like to be around the horses is a great opportunity, I feel like, for him to learn and to experience outdoors. And I only hope that my love for animals gives him some kind of love for them as well.
Yeah, I can imagine. So do you have animals at home as well, or it's just horses?
We do. We have 2 dogs and we have a cat.
Wow. Yeah.
It's all horses. It's all animals for me.
They really give you hope.
Yes. I don't know. Just it's. I think they're special souls, and they were sent here for a reason.
Yeah. So you will give a good advice to other people who have a handicap to ride, I can imagine.
I think it's a great opportunity to learn, to grow, to heal, all in one.
How was it the first time when you get on the horse? You said the horse is huge. It must have been a strange feeling.
It was definitely strange, but it gave you that excitement, to be able to do something you thought you would never be able to do again. Or even I've seen with some of the other children who have always been disabled, um, it gives them the opportunity to just escape the condition and live for the moment.
Yeah, I can imagine.
It definitely gives a good reason to smile.
Yeah, and you need that in that situation. I can think also about children that are unable to move by themselves. It must be a fantastic feeling.
Definitely. I've always seen them smiling. Um, Sometimes we even get to ride with with other students, and I think that's absolutely the best to show them, how to put my wheelchair in and out of the car, and how I get on the horse, and just let them
Yeah,
experience something different and see me do it. Maybe give them the hope that they have all the strength to make it happen for themselves.
yeah, definitely must be. It gives them hope that yeah, they also can do it. So you have a car as well, so you drive yourself out
Yes,
there?
I do. I drive myself.
Wow, that's great. That's great.
I use hand controls. They're placed in a vehicle that allows you to just pull and push for gas and brake.
Yeah, it gives you kind of freedom as well, I can imagine.
Yes, definitely freedom.
Yeah. Wow, is there anything you wanted to say to people out there who are also handicapped in a way?
To to give it their all and to always keep going.
Mm, that's a great one. Never lose hope.
Never.
That's great. Yeah, thank you so much for giving us this perspective from one who can't use your own legs, but you can use the horse legs, and you can use your arms definitely. So that's fantastic to hear, and I can see you smiling wide when you are talking about the horses. So it definitely gives people hope and a good thing. And I think that horses is therapy, just to be with them, to hear them chewing and the smell and everything. I also love it.
It brings that specialty.
Yes, it does. So
We
thank you. Is there anything you want to say before we end it up?
um, just that if you ever get the opportunity to ride or to be around horses, to take it, and to never give up hope, even if it takes um, doing things that you've never tried, um, like riding horses. I know a lot of people that are scared to ride. So if I could ever inspire someone to step out of their comfort zone to heal, I would say take the leap.
Sounds great. Yeah. Thank you so much for doing this. I appreciate it. And
Thank you so much for having me.
and thank you to all of you out there who have been listening to this and seeing it. And please subscribe to this channel so we can carry on with our wonderful podcast. Thank you so much for coming, Harley.
Thank you for having me.